when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes.
Maybe that's the real punk rock.
You die, I die.
You got life! Cowhide. Synthetic cowhide.
He's flying.
Scooby-Doo.
Are you watching closely?
Make yourselves children.
Look at all that. Look at all that.
Are you guys watching?
Joshua was watching My Little Pony earlier, and I had to tell him to turn it off.
I thought you were pulling up the. Are you pulling up the stream?
I'm trying to.
Oh, brother.
I think I just got to refresh.
Well, guys, we're talking about My Little Pony today.
Yes! I can tell you everything!
You don't know anything.
I don't know anything, and we.
That's right. Didn't we have this conversation last time?
Yeah,
Probably.
I think we were gonna have the girls do a takeover episode one day.
That's
But
right. We need
like
to,
all of
we
your
need to
friends
make
would
this
join,
happen.
I
But you've
think.
said that for so long, so I don't think
Yeah,
it's
and
happening.
then we had a kid who's sleeping right now for a while.
She does that sometimes, so we could do it.
She does that sometimes. Today's been a hard day, but that's okay.
Live.
Live.
We're right there.
Michael looks so
Oh, it's really delayed.
It's really delayed.
Yeah.
It's like a solid 30, 45 seconds.
What? Yeah, we counted last time.
Was it 23?
It was a while. It was already delayed, like with Riverside, because when we would talk.
Weird. Can
Yeah.
I like switch my face around on the camera? You know how when you look in the mirror and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you see,
Well, like a reverse mirror. If you see a
Yeah.
reverse
Yeah.
mirror, it feels really backwards.
yeah.
Anyways, guys, these two weirdos are gonna get married in like 3 weeks.
What? Me marry that guy?
Crazy.
No, Josh and I are getting married.
I was like, he's really hot, but like, I don't know if I stand a chance. It's kind of above my league here.
Wait a minute. What's the math? We've only got like
23 days.
20 days until we get there.
Get there, like just to the location.
Venue.
Yeah,
to
to the
Georgia.
location.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's wild.
I think I'm supposed to get my suit soon. I'm in the wedding. For those who didn't know.
Yeah. I'm glad that you have experience with Generation Tux too, and so does William. But the other groomsmen, they're like, Josh, it's not here yet. And I'm like, I know. It's okay.
We ordered it a month in advance.
They send it really late, and
They
then
do.
like, what if it doesn't fit? I don't know.
Yeah.
They trust their system, their online.
They trust you with the measurements, is what they
Well,
trust.
since our wedding, they added an AI overview, like look at your body and figure out what shape you are. And I'm like, that's not how that works.
Not.
I don't like AIs
I
checking
don't
me out.
want-
What if you're just like really tiny and then they
Oh,
say
that's
you're
my
a
job.
measurements are just based on your body shape?
Yeah, you need to reference them.
You need
need,
height.
like, quarter for size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20
Quarter
days.
for size.
You see what Hunter says? 20 days to get to Georgia, you all must be walking.
That's it. It's really quiet.
Man,
I know. It's kind of quiet.
suboptimal.
Literally.
All right,
It's literally
closer?
suboptimal.
Could we move it closer?
I'm just gonna see more of it.
movies, y'all. Actually, I want to let you guys rant because Josh was bragging about your A-list subscription, A-list membership, and
Yeah.
how awesome has that been? Because we got that the first
We
year.
did
married.
that when we were young.
When we were young.
We've had it for 2 weeks.
And we've gone to 2 movies?
2 movies.
It's
We
already
saw
been
The
so
Odyssey
long.
and Spider-Man. Spider-Man, beautiful.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Mhm.
Odyssey, I have more thoughts about that, but
We had an
that other
episode on it.
podcast.
Yeah,
to
we had
talk
an
about
episode
it.
on
We did, and you weren't there, so.
I know. Thanks a lot, Seth.
Well, you've already played it out. There's a meme of like the backrooms guy over-explaining something, and he's like, me when I'm telling somebody that if you get A-list, you only have to see 2 movies before it's paid off, and I'm like, apparently that's a joke across anyone who has A-list. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Pay
I
off.
could go watch the movies by myself while he's working, and I think that's a pretty big win.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, we were going to talk about a specific movie, and I kind of lied. I kind of lied with the episode title because I knew Josh cried at it, not cried about it.
During watching.
Josh hates movies.
Yeah, I hate it.
I didn't actually cry. It was very sad, but also we watched it over like 3 different chunks.
Sessions, yeah.
As parenting
Oh, wow.
entertainment goes, you have to take your time off when you have it.
Yeah.
So I don't know that the entire feeling of sitting through the movie was there for me.
Yeah, I said it feels like we're watching a TV show because we're only watching it in like 30-minute segments.
But
No
A baby,
like clean
too.
breaks or anything.
barring my experience,
I'm also a baby, so that
We
doesn't
were
help.
we were watching it with my little brother. First time Josh came to visit my house in Florida.
yeah.
We watched it in the evening. We made it like a pool.
We watched
Movie
it in a
date
hot
night.
tub.
Oh,
It's cool.
with a
interesting choice.
projector. It was kind of cool. It was an interesting
Yeah,
choice.
it's like after,
because it
like-
got cold.
After like 30 minutes of
They're
them
like-
playing Mario Kart.
That's just so sweet.
Funny. What do you guys think of the movie, and why did Josh want to talk about it whenever? Like, this was one of those where I was like, "What's your favorite movie? Top 5 of the moment," and you had that pretty high, probably
Why
because
is
you
it-
just recently watched it. But
I don't think it's my top 5, but it's one that got me to feel a lot. You know.
yeah.
That's fair.
Well, and I just asked you what your thoughts were, but then my mom was just here and she said that apparently, at least in the Francine Rivers fans section, they didn't like it, or some people are like, it's not that the book wasn't accurate, or I don't know if people were dissatisfied with how she adapted the Hosea story. But I'm like,
So it
well,
wasn't the book wasn't accurate, or the movie wasn't accurate to the book.
well, she said that it was hand in hand.
Okay.
I don't know. She didn't explain completely, but it felt like I didn't, like I said, she didn't explain, but to me it sounded like they were expecting a very accurate retelling of Hosea and his story, and it's like, no, it's just the idea of
It's inspired by, not
Right.
based on.
yeah. That was my defense of it, but I don't know. It was really good. It was a very hard watch, hard story to
Mhm.
but still, I think important and analogous, I would say. But I wanted to ask.
I haven't read the book in a long time, but I'm a big Francine Rivers fan, and her historical fictions are really eye-opening for the women that have been in the Bible. There's there's like retelling of all different kinds of women in the Bible, and it's absolutely stunning. And in her books, she doesn't hold anything back, and she kind of just like embraces how horrible things were and like the culture of it, and she does a deep dive into it, and she answered a lot of my questions, like why would who was it, Boaz, why would it be important for her to uncover his feet? Like, she'll answer that question. And
in the historical
think-
fiction.
mhm.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean in a different book? I was like, we're talking about
different
Hosea.
book.
This is no totally different book. Yeah. But I'm just like saying in regards to the movie being different from the book, she really does like to dig into how like realistic and what the culture was and everything, and explain all of that. In the movie, it focused a lot on the story and the characters, which is good. I think that's typical for a movie.
Mhm.
Still good.
Josh, what deep dive do you have to match that?
I don't have the books. I don't have that. I don't know how to read. I'm dyslexic, basically. But I do know with the book of Hosea, I do really like the idea of having a marital type of redeeming love, because I know that especially in marriage,
It's the name of the movie.
as
Sorry, it said too quiet. I said that's the name of the movie.
yeah, roll credits. Anyway,
Robert B. Wild.
but no, I think especially for the book of Hosea, that is a book about at all costs the marriage must survive, sort of thing. Like I really do like the adaptation of it, the kind of continuing to forgive, even though she blatantly runs away and does obscene things even to his own family. Like that to any normal person would be unforgivable, but that is what the Lord is calling us to do, which is a very tough pill to swallow for a lot of people who probably watched the film, which I also think is to why it got a little bit of hate. And I don't know. My well doesn't go as deep as hers, but I just think that the story and the idea of continuous forgiveness and just a stubbornness to stay together because that's what the Lord has called you to do, that's beautiful.
The one-sided stayed together too. It wasn't like she had come to know the Lord. It was she came to know God's character through her husband.
Through her husband.
And it was like that continual like receiving that she had of unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful. I loved it. And that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah, the themes make me want to remember what's actually accurate to Hosea, because again, I think it was based on the idea of Hosea, not, I mean, obviously Michael, sorry, this is going to get confusing. The character Michael wasn't a prophet or anything. He just wanted to pray for a wife. And within the universe, like forgetting that it's an adaptation of Hosea, you could say that it's still analogous to how Christ loves the church and loves us individually, how we always mess up. You know, it can be as simple as that. But also in Hosea, the actual book, it was to remind the Israelites that they always were God's chosen people, for no matter how many times they were sent into exile, which was mostly by their own doing for not following God. We are reading through the Chronicles and Kings, and it's back and forth of this king was good, this king was bad, didn't tear down any of the Asherah poles, and that was still, God never gave up on them. And it's has so many layers of meaning when it's compared to what actually happened, what God promised would happen, and what God still promises would happen with his new chosen people, which is the church.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really do like the I know that Hosea, he was a prophet, but I honestly like how Michael, the man in this, was just a dude. You know, like it's not for someone who is outside of the faith or outside of that idea. You don't have to be a prophet or be some sort of anointed one in order to love your wife or to continuously forgive. You can just be a normal person who decided to choose the right thing to do, not because their job or their title requires them to, but because that's what you have. That's just their choice. They choose to continue to love like that, despite it being not necessarily their calling or their job as a prophet or as a pastor or as some special chosen by the Lord. That's not how it works. It's just, you can just be some guy and decide to love your wife even though she's leaving you regularly like that.
And God had instructed Hosea to marry that woman so that, like, as an example, and there wasn't any love. And I think that may have been a little bit of the confusion when it came to this adaptation, where it seemed like he prayed for a wife, and then he was smitten, and then he took that and ran with it, only to the point of saying, this is the one that God wants me to love, and I'm not going to give up on her. And then kind of just, he kept pursuing her. Maybe it just lost some of the spirituality of it. But the core point is that he never stopped loving her.
Well, in the Bible, there is love. It's just not the romantic love that we see in the movie. And obviously, they do the same thing with stories of Esther, because, like, we don't know if Esther was really feeling it for Boaz. We just know that she was obedient. And the same thing here. We know that Hosea was obedient. We don't necessarily know. Did I say Esther? I meant Ruth.
Right.
I meant Ruth, yeah.
Right.
Well, same thing with Esther too. Yeah. There's no, like, we don't know if there's actual romance, because it's just a narrative. It doesn't tell what they were thinking.
Good point.
We just make assumptions, and maybe they're correct, maybe they're not.
And a 21st century perspective wants romance.
But if you're making a movie about a love story, like, you're gonna add the love element into it. So there really was love in the Bible. It just wasn't a feeling of romantic love necessarily. It could have just been. It could have just been like the act.
The Song of Solomon is like where the romanticness is, which is, I think, what we like to overlook. I know there's so many people out there that just don't read Song of Solomon because it's uncomfortable, because it's weird to feel this holy book and also have romance in it. But I think we tend to also think that all of the other stories don't have any romance in it at all. Not saying that all of the stories with Ruth and Rahab or
Such a sad
anyone doesn't have
Mary and
romance.
Joseph.
And Mary and Joseph too.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know if there was or was not romance, but I do know Joseph was a very kind man, and I think that that is romantic. So if anything, kindness is speaking romantically, because I don't know, I think that's a continuous theme throughout the scripture, even if it's not like, hey, I got you flowers. It's, hey, I'm going to divorce you secretly as to not defame you or to bring dishonor to your name, Mary. Like, I want to honor you. Like, that's sacrificial, that's loving, and I would argue that's romantic, but it's not like what the 21st century sees as romantic.
Yeah.
It's not flowers, it's not petals leading to the bedroom. It's not it's not what we tend to get involved in when we think of romance.
Yeah. Ihoundar is saying, isn't that how God shows love? Intention follows action, which follows feelings.
That's right.
I think so. I think where intention falls is a little up to interpretation. I don't know. It feels like feelings, intention, action, but not.
Well, that's how it is with modern dating, and that's one
Sure.
thing too that we don't even think about in the Bible is they didn't date like we do. It's not like they saw each other and they're like, oh, I want to pursue this person. Maybe they did, but maybe it's like, oh, they're like, this is who my family has decided I'm going to marry. And then as they get to know each other, the feelings follow because they're intentionally pouring love into each other. And that's there's a different way, a different culture, but it's still, it can be just as beautiful.
Yeah. I think of a book that Michael and I read called The Meaning of Marriage by Tim Keller. Highly recommended. It's great. Amazing book. And one of the principles that it gave in there was choosing to love and continuing to love even though you do not like. And it's Tim Keller. He was a pastor. And he tells the story of him loving a couple that many would have deemed difficult to love. Whether it be annoying or overbearing or just a couple that you wouldn't really want to get involved with. It was, as a pastor, his job to continue to love them and to be there for them despite them being difficult at times. And it wasn't until about 5 or 6 years into him being in this pastoral position of loving that couple that he had a day off, and his wife asks him, hey, what do you want to do with our day off? This is weird. And he's like, oh, why don't we invite this couple over? And the wife just looks at him like, what? Are you serious? Why? Why would we do that? But what he then goes to say is that in continuing to love them and continuing to pursue them despite not liking them, he ended up actually liking them in the end. And that's like a clear depiction of how continuing to love, continuing to choose that person, continuing to accept them and be with them and comfort them, even though they continuously run away from you, despise you, curse you, spit on you, whatever it is, that love is infectious, and then you end up liking them in the end too. It is a very hard thing to do, but trust the process when you love someone.
Disclaimer, easier said than done.
Easier said than done.
And a constant reminder of why we need the Lord.
Amen.
Yep. I was gonna say, as you guys are fresh off reading those books, you guys are gonna have the perfect marriage, right?
Oh, yeah. No, that was like 2 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Fresh. Real fresh.
Yeah. I was gonna talk about why some people might not like this movie, in that it's a PG-13 movie about prostitutes and romance. Didn't know that was in there. Not a problem per se, but it partially shows the intensity. It doesn't shy away, but it really isn't. God's not dead. It's not a family movie night. It's not a. It's even curious. Like, there was swearing in it, and that was okay. It's not. I wasn't going to say it's a bad thing. It's just I had an expectation, and that wasn't matched. So, how did you guys feel when that was?
Man, I thought that
first
was
happening.
So great. I thought that was so great because there's a lot of, and not as much anymore, but in our generation, we grew up with a lot of like Christian movies that's God's Not Dead, like kind of Fireproof.
I was just thinking Fireproof.
Yeah,
We just watched that the other
almost some lovey-dovey, cheesy Christian movies that a non-believer wouldn't touch because it's not the highest film quality ever. Even still, I wouldn't say that this is like high quality film, but it's certainly not something you would play in church.
Yeah.
And I've gone to 2 churches that have played Redeeming Love for the congregation. And the pastor was just like, he would come out every once in a while. There would be some intentionally skipped scenes, but they're like, hey, this is not for the faint of heart. Just disclaimer. This is a story of a struggling marriage. So this is like a good instruction on how to deal with a struggling marriage kind of thing. So I've seen some bold pastors who have stepped into the shepherd position of leading their sheep and showing them, the hard parts of marriage as well, instead of just saying, oh, love your wife.
Yeah, how dare they?
Well, that's a good thing, but you also can't neglect the hard parts of it too. And I think this movie, and the reason that we were crying about it is because it doesn't like shy away. I'm also somebody who watches war movies regularly. So I just maybe wasn't fazed by it. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the grotesqueness, if that's grotesque, still on 3 syllables.
Doing so good.
I'm trying to upgrade my vocab to 4 syllables soon.
He said a 5-syllable word the other day.
Yeah. I forgot what it was.
I don't remember.
But no, the grotesqueness of it, I do think is a good intentional move to help us realize that life is messy. Like, we live in a very, very sinful world, and they did a good job of not showing super duper too much, like they still kept it PG-13. I still think it.
We skipped it. That's why it feels PG-13 in our heads.
Yeah.
Ellie said it's.
We didn't watch it.
Wait, yeah, we did skip.
Yeah. I said it was hanging on to the PG-13 rating just by her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Like the hair placement, that was all that they had going for them. I was like, that's cutting it. That's cutting it close.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Actually, yeah. I think I've closed my eyes.
It's
still.
Cleaner in our brains.
Yeah.
Because we had the remote to filter it.
Protection.
There was one point I just picked up one of Anya's books and I was like singing and dancing it around the room, just trying to not look at the TV.
That's
Yeah.
cute.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen it. This is where I admit it has been a minute. So,
Yeah.
But from what I remember, if you can skip those scenes, it is a reminder that we naturally want to look away at stuff. We tend to forget that life is very, very cruel to a lot of people, and kind of just having a heart for that and a sensitivity to it is something that I think can be drawn from the film that is good. A sensitivity to that kind of topipic.
It's still not a reason to include it. I think of it from a filmmaking perspective, and Michael has had some of that perspective too, having had a hand in a short film that was pretty cool that I watched. Josh made a cameo in it. I didn't know about it. I'm sorry.
You watched it?
But making that stuff, like Josh said, it's meant to be looked away, and I'm like, that's not the point of a movie. Why include it? It's still, I don't know. I think that's one of the big reasons I've had this podcast is to talk about what's permissible, what's not, and it's not just my opinion. Like, I can share my opinion, but it's like I'm not the one making the movie. And no movie is perfect. So even if you were to make a perfect movie was to take that concept and that story and, not show anything or not have any language or have the right amount of language or whatever, I don't know.
So my question, are you of the opinion that it wasn't grotesque enough, or that it was too much and you were going into it expecting a softer film?
I think when it decided that it was going to stay with the couple instead of cutting away, knowing what they were doing, it stayed with them for an extra 3 minutes. I was like, really? Do you need this?
Yeah.
I get what's happening.
We know what's going on. We don't need the image of it.
But there was the other scene I thought of was when she was in her room without clothes, and he was looking her in the eye, and that was kind of the point of, there was a point of growth there of saying that he wanted her as a person, not as a body like all the other guys did.
Right.
And so there was purpose in that scene, but also did it need to be formatted that way.
I
Yeah.
will say that did make it more book accurate.
Oh,
So,
I mean, that makes sense, but also they know their audience,
yep.
and that makes it kind of hard because this is where like treading the line is really hard because it is what?
just Christian romance and female romance books
Yeah.
really toe the line of like,
Yeah. But I don't know. For me, it was really hard. It was uncomfortable to watch the entire time, and it's supposed to be. So then I'm like, okay,
Right.
so they hit their goal, but also did they push it a little too far? And
Yeah.
just and like even with what you said, that they didn't have to show as much as they did, and I don't know, they
I
didn't have
think
to.
that maybe took
I
away
think-
your, like in your experience, that took away your experience for the ending when she went back to the brothel and was like, she had her hero moment where she kind of took everything down.
I don't think it took away, but I think that it wouldn't have taken away if that stuff was gone.
Yeah. Okay. It didn't compliment.
Like yeah. It didn't make it any more powerful.
It's so fair.
I was thinking the hero moments were not the hero. I mean, there's obviously the hero moment, but like there is a contrast between back in the paradise and the palace versus when she has the classic farm lady dresses and she's sprinkling seed with him and plucking flowers. Like all of that is good contrast with what she used to wear, where she used to live. And so there is something to say about that and being able to feel happy in the moments instead of feeling upset. Not necessarily that those moments, the previous moments exist, but just to know the hard life that she had and that many women have,
I
honestly.
think it's pretty easy to argue that Angel is the main character, which is another reason that like her perspective is she was only loved for her body. So showing her body was a big part of her character development. So that was hard because of the audience. I totally agree. But I think like Michael Jose is not actually the main character in this. Like, he had a hard part, but it was really, we saw all of the character development through Angel.
Yeah, agreed.
I think of another movie, Sound of Freedom, that had a very, very difficult topic, and that's what I was just thinking of now. I don't remember the bad scenes because I looked away, but
I don't think
they weren't
there's
that.
no bad
There's not a
scenes
scene
in
of
Sound of Freedom,
freedom.
which is my point too, because the whole topic is understood. The timeline is understood, and there are scenes where it cuts away and fully implies, and it's so gross.
You
and
still feel the weight of it. Yeah.
you still feel the weight of it, which I actually think originally when we started this episode, I thought, oh, disgusting scenes are necessary to have that disgusting feeling so that we can like turn away from it and have a sensitivity and understanding that this is supposed to be gross, this is supposed to be evil. But there's also the ability to do that in the way that Sound of Freedom did, where it just cuts to a window or something, or it fully pans away and it's just not even, camera isn't even in the building sort of thing. And I think actually now I'm leaning towards the idea of that Sound of Freedom chose to go,
Sound of Freedom was another movie that surpassed the expectations of like the Christian audience. I think of they were expecting, oh no, human trafficking, and they got, oh my gosh, I was crying for more than half the movie.
Yeah, that's another hard one. But I don't even remember the onset. Somebody else got to talk now.
Oh no, there he goes.
Man down.
You were our green screen ends, and it's just like the
It's a very narrow section.
We're back.
I do wonder, what is y'all's opinion of God being brought up in films? So in the book, it would like Hosea was like hearing the word of God, and he was like hearing God's voice, and there was dialogue for God, and they were talking back and forth in the same way the prophet did. In the movie, there was none of that. It was just implication. It was him praying. It was him looking up, him seeing like a flower blowing in the wind, and that was the Lord speaking to him. And that goes back to like the story of Esther, how God isn't mentioned, but you can very clearly see him move, versus Joseph, King of Dreams, where God is like an actual character, without a face.
That's the sequel to Prince of Egypt, right?
Prince of Egypt? Yeah.
I thought wait, really?
Prince of Egypt.
You're talking about a specific movie?
Prince of Egypt,
I think
and then
Prince of
Joseph,
Egypt.
King of Dreams.
Prince of Egypt, because that's the one where he's talking to the burning bush and you can hear the word of the Lord.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's
I get goosebumps still at that.
second film in the Prince of Egypt franchise, and it was the only sequel, and nobody knows about it. But yeah, it's technically a sequel to it. But yes, even if I get what you're saying, because it also happened in Prince of Egypt, where you hear the deep booming voice.
I think I like that they didn't include it, because then instead of it's already clearly not a Christian movie.
Right.
Like, it is a movie about Christians, and it is about a Bible story that actually happened.
Beautiful.
It's not like it isn't a Christian movie in the sense that all the other ones are. And so I like how it didn't include it, because you could watch this movie and not even know that it's a Christian movie until the end, where she comes to God, and then you're like, oh, this was a Christian message. And it could have just been like a guy who goes to church, and in that culture would have made sense anyway. So yeah, it's not so in your face as other movies.
I was going to say, can a Christian movie have risque things said and shown and done?
Said, I think.
Can the Bible have risque things said and done and still be a Bible?
I
Still
think
be the word of the Lord? The
I
answer
think we can talk about them because the Bible talks about them, but
It's your commentary.
other than Song of
Should
Solomon,
they be?
it doesn't go into detail in the Bible. And I don't think you should show the detail in the movie.
Yes.
I think you can still talk about it as a concept, and it's not like off limits as something to depict. Just the way you depict it matters.
It's the idea of, are you causing others to stumble? And I think that this movie failed to keep others from stumbling, at least. And I can guarantee that somebody who watched it had a problem.
Well, for sure.
But I was thinking of the other things, like I don't have a problem with swearing, but my mom does, and that's fine. That would be a turnoff, even if there was no sexual content, and not,
For some people, yeah.
And
Like,
then,
you can't protect everyone's conscience when you're making a film, and I get that.
That's what the rating is there for.
Right. But
Yeah, but
there's
we haven't-
still a level of like, okay, but how far do you want to push that line? Because
Should it have been rated more then?
I think I would argue it should have been rated R then. I honestly think so.
I think so too.
it could have done more.
That's what I think. I think they really
Like
pushed
one of
it.
the softer,
It would have
Yeah,
given them more
softer.
freedom to do more.
like a lowercase r.
I have a question to the people who know more about film. Thank you. How do they do the rating? Is that something depicted by the studio?
Dude, we just had an episode on this, and you didn't listen to it.
I didn't. I was probably at work. I'm sorry.
No, I know you don't listen. That's fine. You just hate me.
If only they were posted online somewhere you can go back and listen to an episode if he wasn't there.
I did a whole rant about how the rating system is broken, and Will just nodded and said, "Yep, Seth, you're completely safe in this issue." They have a system. It is the Motion Picture Association of America, or just Motion Picture Association. If they don't do, I think they changed it recently, but they just have people who decide the rating. And I mean, most films will shoot for a rating. If it's a comic book movie, they want the teenagers to go see it. And if they want it to be an extreme horror movie, then they make sure it gets an R rating. Like, there's pretty targeted ways you make a movie. But they mute that. But I was saying that I think that there's like officially four ratings, which is GP, PG-13, and R. Mm-hmm. The NC-17 never releases I think X is technically archived, but I think those four are too narrow. You could have different versions that aren't just age-based, like ours. Only 18-year-olds are allowed into the theater. PG-13 is suggested for PG-13 or for 13-year-olds and over, when it's not restricted to that. So I think there needs to be more in between all of those, and we talked about how Plugged In and Kids in Mind and other rating system or review systems have better options for how to rate them. Like Plugged In, I like specifically because they have kids, teens, and adults in light, medium, and heavy warning, and so you can kind of gauge what it is according to that. Like I think like Project Hail Mary or something was heavy for kids, heavy for teens, and light for adults. So like you can kind of assume that it's thematically intense, but not like bad. So it tells a lot when you have a little bit more flexibility to your system.
I remember,
Yeah, I think.
sorry,
go ahead.
Emily.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that the way that this movie is rated, like I said, they really pushed the line to R, and looking at it as if it were you're going to see a Christian movie with your 13-year-old, I really think that it should have been rated R because of that. Like knowing what they were, even they didn't have to show anymore, and it still could have been rated R because there is some like subjectivity to the ratings.
Redeeming Love is PG-13 and Unplugged In has heavy, heavy, heavy. Yeah. For all three age ranges. So that's
Crazy.
that's telling that using all of those together, you understand.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it should have been rated R. It's not that I wanted them to add any more with the R rating.
No.
I just think that what they
But
already
because
have,
13 is the line,
and it's so
young.
heavy thematically that even already with that, it's PG-13 with just the themes, and then when adding some more scenes that are more sexual, it should have been R. I think.
I'm learning more about the book. It was written in 1991. I didn't realize. I knew Francine Rivers has been around for a while, but I didn't realize
91 isn't that long ago.
35 years.
Yeah.
The
It was offended a bunch of
placed in
millennials.
1850, 1855. So it's like during the California Gold Rush, which I thought was beautiful, and I loved it.
Yep. I'm half reading this.
But I remember in my film class, I had a cine law class, and we were talking about why movies weren't rated for quite a while, and the government saw it as a restriction on your First Amendment right by saying like what a movie can or cannot say. So I guess that implies that movies were making content based on the age and the audience, and so putting like a rating on it would stop somebody from being able to view or say whatever they wanted about it. So they changed that eventually.
The Plugged In article brings up the Unplanned movie as well, and I don't remember what that was rated, but there's definitely a very. You haven't seen that?
No,
I think it was PG-13.
But it was very intense. It's R, but a medium.
Oh, it's R.
It's R, but medium for adults, at least Unplugged In. And I understand that. Like, it's still a heavy movie. It's very hard to watch, but it's not like it's showing anything. It had a recreation of an abortion room, which was very hard to watch.
I think if Unplanned was rated R, this definitely should have been rated R. But I'm also way more sensitive to sensual content. Like that personally, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to even like know that it's going on. It just hurts my heart more. And even with like just war movies and stuff, they could be rated R, tons of violence. I'm like, that's fake. I wonder how they did that blood. Like it doesn't, I'm not connected to that in any way.
Right.
But for some reason, it just feels more real when it's sexual content. So.
That's what I'm saying is the ratings are so general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't rated R based on the amount of F-bombs that are placed in the film.
That's part of it too. Yeah. Yeah, that's a... If it's for language too, like that doesn't bother me as much either. So it is a personal thing, but...
So it's weird. Back to Redeeming Love. It is weird that it was PG-13. But I think they wanted to keep it PG-13 to kind of, have the most amount of people see it, because if you make it R and say it's based on the book of Hosea, no Christian in general.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That is true.
But when you make it PG-13 and toe that line, then you have people with a lower standard or lower bar of expectation then brought up to a 10 when you're showing the problems and the hard life that Angel has and all that. So
Right.
Sarah.
Sarah. Sorry, I'm going to use her Christian name. Anywho. Josh, what part did you cry at? I'm curious. Little wimp.
It was at the end.
Yeah.
It was at the end when
That
she finally
beautiful
decided to
sunset
stay.
scene.
I think what the real tearjerker, it was. I was like, I think I was already crying at this point, but it was like, oh,
Yeah.
when you see they have kids,
Yeah.
like that kind of success,
Ellie had the question. She's like, what is, I don't even know what the operation's called. I don't know. She's like, how did they keep her from having kids?
Yeah, I asked before we found out. I was like, how are they keeping her from having kids?
Because then you think about it, 13-year-olds would ask the same question.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
But then the scene.
But then they
changed.
show it, and it's
Yep.
they don't show it, but they
told you.
explain it, and it's dark.
And
Yeah.
1850s medicine was not good at all, so it probably was. But apparently they did it wrong, so that she was able to have kids at least.
Or those things fail more
That's true.
easily then. But yeah.
Anyway, the idea was that they had a happy ending, even though it seemed like she wasn't accepting the happy ending for herself. And actually, Houndor brought up a good point. Redeeming love or obsessive love, it doesn't sound like it toes the line. I think that I felt that a little bit from Michael Hosea, because it seemed like he was running after her a lot, which was the point. But then there was one point where he said, let her go. She needs to decide to come back. And I was like, well, you didn't think that the last two times
you
that you
kidnapped her,
dragged her out of the palace saying you need to come
But
with
that was the word of the Lord. That was in scripture.
Okay.
Wasn't
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't he reading and then it came to him like, I need to let her decide to come back?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the end, maybe the last half, he was like,
But
I'm done chasing her.
I know that it was based off of the Bible, but also just the way that they showed it. And I think maybe even just the casting, he just seemed a little creepy at first. Like it took a minute to kind of get used to him.
He had like shark face,
Yeah.
Like a,
Yeah. Yeah. So it took me a minute to get over that, but I'm like, it's based on Hosea.
Because in the book,
good
Francine
here.
Rivers just makes him like the prime figure of a man, just like the perfect person you would ever
She's
want.
holding up Josh's face.
It's a perfect man. And then I actually know a lot of folks, my college roommate included, who was like in love with the man in the book. And when we were reading it in our freshman year, and she was just like, oh, this is so good. Like, oh, I love Michael. And then we watched the movie together for the first time, and she's like, that's not what I pictured.
Yeah, I think so.
I think a lot of people had that thought.
Yeah.
No offense to the actor. I'm sure he's a lovely person.
No, he did a good job. It was just uncomfortable at first. I don't know.
He was really soft.
Mm-hmm.
I think a man like that is better unpictured.
Yeah.
Left up to the imagination? What do you mean?
Leave it to the imagination.
This is better depicted because you can kind of soften it in your own brain when you're reading.
Yeah.
You could intensify it. Some people do, but you don't have to see it all in your brain.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that it should have remained a book, or it was good to become a movie?
I think if they did make it into a movie, which they did, but if I were to determine,
That'd be kind of cool if I made it into a movie.
I think if I were to determine how much they showed, I would have done it more like Sound of Freedom, where it kind of pans away. They still it's still clear what's going on, but they don't show it, especially in the scenes between Sarah and Michael, because like
intimacy and all that.
this we don't have to show. We know what happens with married people. It's married people things. Let them do their married people things.
Right.
We don't need to see it. We can know that they're going that way, because then it's like, okay, we know that like they're actually getting close or whatever. But still, it's not. It's not something we need to see. It's uncomfortable. It's like keep it to yourself.
Agree.
Thank you.
Oh no, did we go off? Down? We're down.
Hold.
Nobody say anything.
No, we're still
You don't have
live.
to hold your breath.
We're still live. I accidentally hit back, and I thought I killed the stream.
This is
back.
great content. No, it's us.
Breathe. What was I looking for? Now I forgot what
Would you love me the way that Michael
I was looking for the
loved
year. 2022 was
Sarah?
so
Okay.
Yeah. I'll do my best.
Okay.
You doing
I
your
don't
best?
like this.
Looking at yourself.
No.
Sorry.
No, you guys look fine to us.
No, I see this and it's live, but seeing us from the past on the right side is freaking me out because for a second I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
So warm. I didn't change out of my church clothes. No.
You and I flirting with each other. Weirdos.
Ew.
Like
30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Guys, marriage is like so easy.
yeah.
You
right.
there yet?
Look at them.
I think
You got two like excuse me.
the end of the movie is the point, obviously, but just him accepting her back with open arms was the point. It was kind of a prodigal son situation, expecting to not want to come back, but she still had to choose to go back. She didn't really know how he would respond, and he had no right to welcome her back, but he did because he loved her and waited for her. And that was Paul's revelation to her when he came to the Magdalena or whatever her new.
Yeah, because she started a whole operation to get women out of paradise.
Okay. This is a question for Michael because you read the book. Did they explain better how she left them, or did she just like take off to go be with Michael and leave her whole operation without anyone leading?
Because he gave her like a 3-hour
That
notice to
was
say,
great.
I'm leaving at 4 p.m.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, because we see her like praying over it and then she just takes off. And I'm like, but she was actually doing something kind of important. So did
Yeah,
they just, like,
I am so sure that she went back multiple times to like check in on it because it is something that she genuinely cared about and she felt called to go pursue, and she just felt like she couldn't do that as a married woman when there is so much like freedom in doing it with a husband and with somebody at your side, and I just don't think she understood that yet. So I'm so sure that she left somebody in charge or went back to go check in on them for the rest of her life.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking again about making somebody stumble and the problematic quote unquote things that were in the movie. I was thinking even about Duke getting hung, and not that was making anyone stumble, but it was
dark.
It was intense, and usually you don't show even the hanging part.
You just show like the feet or something.
You'll show the feet.
Like in Jojo Rabbit or something.
Yeah, like that.
But actually
Tarzan
seeing
moment.
the tension on the neck is like, I don't want to look at that. Not that it's again, it's not a stumble part.
I don't think that was entirely necessary.
Well, I was saying that it doesn't fall under the isn't making anyone stumble. It's falling under is it necessary to show the seriousness? Because at that point, the reason he was hung was because everyone found out that he liked little girls,
Like a pedophile.
and
you're supposed to be like, you're supposed to feel a sense of justice that he was taken care of, but they're also like actually showing him hanging. I'm like, that's kind of a dark way of showing that because it's not like you're not supposed to feel for him. And then they're showing it as if you're supposed to feel for him, and maybe you're just supposed to see how heavy it actually is to be executed. But
he was pretty.
Maybe there were some people out there who was like, "Yeah, this is great. Watch this."
Yeah, like who's just cheering for that?
We want to do it again. You know,
like you're glad that he's gotten justice, but you're also like,
I really don't think most of the audience was wanting that.
Yeah.
I do think that there is a good theme of guilt in that, like what he knew what he was doing. And he understood the weight of that and then drawing him to that. But I think that sort of battle and then putting yourself through something like that isn't something we like seeing. I didn't want to see it. It was too much.
You're talking about Michael or
the hanging
Oh,
scene. Yeah. Like he knew what he was doing. He knew what was going on. He knew he was a dead man.
Yeah. You sure your sin will find you out? Anything else? Don't even go a full hour.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of more, but I think that's a pretty good spot. What do you think?
I thought it was a great movie. I liked the movie.
I don't know if it's a rewatch one.
I rewatched it now 3 or 4 times, so I rewatched it. I like it.
Maybe I'd read the book Because then I can put it down on my own
Please,
mind. I can
Francine
get more
Rivers.
detail and like still feel the weight of the story again. Because I really like the story and the concept behind it. I just didn't enjoy watching it because there were so many scenes where I had to just be like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no.
yeah.
I think.
And I'm like, where's the remote? We need to skip.
Well, you don't want to rewatch some of it?
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good thing, Ellie. You're a virtuous woman. To listeners, anybody, you, Francine Rivers, yes, win. She's a win.
Win.
A lot of stories were answered, like Ruth and Boaz and Rahab and her father-in-law. And I haven't gotten to Mary yet, but the way that she tells the stories make the women sound human.
Mm-hmm.
And she takes God's mercy into account when a lot of times, especially in the Old Testament, his judgment was highlighted. So, but it just like, I think that Francine really shows God as a girl dad and as he's going to come to his daughter's aid in a time where a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know people still liked it. I thought it was like my mom's generation, but I'm glad.
I'm certain. I mean, I haven't watched it since like 2 years since we watched it with Josh. So it's not like a regular watch.
I meant the books. I meant just the books. I thought Francine Rivers was.
No. Mm-mm.
I know. Does she still write?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Not that I'm aware of, but
Yeah.
Lineage of Grace is really, really good. And Ellie, I'd recommend it to you.
There's questions for the people who haven't watched the movie. Was what exactly is the turn of the story? Like, what exactly stopped her from her duties? I think just love, man. They
Watching My Little Pony.
Friendship is magic.
The idea was that she slowly. Well, I think the big thing was obviously she went back to to paradise, and they didn't have like the brothel burnt down. But then she went to the other place, and the guy offered her a job. But then when she went back the second time or third time, she chose to be a cook instead, and that made that kitchen pop off. And they decided to keep rolling with that instead of like she kind of had some self-respect eventually.
And I think when it became free will, then that was the moment that we were like, okay. And for her, especially because she didn't have free will for her entire life. So when she was just like, wait a minute, I have a choice in all of this. That was kind of more the turning point when we also realized, oh, there's still hope for her. And she still like has a conscience and can make decisions on her own.
I think that is actually a key storytelling aspect, because when she went back and the palace was burnt down, she had a choice. Like she realized she wasn't under the Duchess anymore. So I believe there were 3 times that she went back to paradise. Once was she went right back to the palace, started over or started doing the same things. And then she went back and it was burned down. And so she technically had a choice. But then she chose to go with the other guy and do the same actions, but in a different location. And then the 3rd time she decided she was going to go be a cook. And that was after she gained some self-respect and courage.
I don't know about self-respect. Maybe that would have been an aspect of it. But wasn't it Michael's brother-in-law that he was unfaithful and they were unfaithful together, and like that, a lot of that was shame on her part. And so that was a big reason that she wasn't going back, is because she's like, he's not going to take me back.
Yeah.
Is because of that shame. And she's like, if he ever figures out that like his brother betrayed, I betrayed his brother like this, but then I don't know. Yeah, I think Seth, you made a great point at the beginning. It's just love. It's like
I meant what she did with her free will when she not the choice to leave, because obviously she was trying to leave, and there was shame, but she was already halfway to the town, and then when she got there, she made those choices. So that's what I meant by that.
It's almost like the love redeemed her. The story.
Stop it. Don't say things like
that. Your movie could be called Redeeming Love. Clapper. We're done.
No credits.
I waited for way too long.
You did. I didn't realize your hand was way back here.
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't.
sorry.
It's off screen.
I just see it frozen with Josh leaving.
When can we watch?
Yep. All right, I think we'll be done. Yep.
That's right there. Where's
I don't know. I've been
You
sick
still-
for a
It
while.
wasn't that long. Sorry.
You've been sick?
I've been sick for a few days, so I'm kind of out of it.
Well,
So
just stop it.
Yeah, I've been saying
Don't
that.
be sick anymore.
We said we didn't have time for it, but here we are.
I don't have time for you to be sick right now.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
kind of what it feels like.
Not for me. Just in
No,
general.
just in general.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking, y'all. I'll say y'all for Michael's sake.
Thank you
Josh,
so much.
you've already turned into a y'all person being down there.
I have become a y'all person already.
Raising him
Uh,
right.
I like the concept of
y'all
having an inclusive you
Yeah,
term.
I do.
Like
I do too.
I like the concept.
Now, the minute he starts to say y'alls, that's when he's truly a southerner now.
See, now I got a question. You guys are gonna be south in Michael's happy warm place, but do you guys actually have Buc-ee's, or is that central south?
We have
We
one.
have
It's only like
Buc-ee's.
an hour and a half away.
It's in South.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one in South Carolina near Florence.
Isn't it in Greenville?
But most of them are just
Greenville?
No, maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, there are some. Okay. Yeah, there's like
up in Georgia.
Buc-ee's was rapidly
Georgia.
expanding.
There's like 3 in
Mhm.
Georgia.
I want Buc-ee's.
My sister
Ugh.
came up, and actually everybody saw that last week when we were talking on the
Like
podcast.
2.5
She showed
hours.
up and we talked about the Odyssey, but she brought us Buc-ee's jerky.
Oh, did she bring you Buc-ee's fudge?
No,
No.
well, I
She's
didn't
not a
ask
real
for it.
fan.
She asked what we wanted.
And we didn't say it.
We didn't say that.
Okay, well, next time.
But she came from Branson, and that's
We'll get
like,
you guys Buc-ee's fudge. Well, I guess we'll give you Seth fudge when you come.
And I'll eat it anyways.
Yeah, I'll put that right next to the PS5 Josh is giving me, and then,
Oh, yeah.
and then it'll melt all over it into the vents.
Perfect.
Yeah, because Annika's in Branson, and that's like the most northern Buc-ee's option.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's Springfield, but it's really close. Anyways, she brings us Buc-ee's stuff when she comes up.
Oh,
A true friend.
Yeah,
Except for she didn't give me fudge. So.
except for fudge.
tough.
Anyways, all right.
I need more pictures of Anya.
Oh yeah.
We'll send you some.
We'll get you some.
Thank you.
Maybe we just add people not our family to the shared.
Yeah.
shared
We have
album.
a shared album with a bunch of pictures.
Please, I'll send you my email. I'll send you my security. What do you want?
Drop it in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Drop it in the chat.
All right. Thank you for listening or watching. Share this with a friend, and until next week, God bless, and pray for my sickness.
Peace out, brethren.
Bye.